Teen Spirit is a film about a teenage girl named Violet who dares to dream. She dreams of fulfilling her talent and that she might find a way for that talent to be the vehicle that takes her away from the broken pieces of her family life in a small town. Some of these story elements may sound familiar, but I promise you this film is anything but. The narrative has unexpected twists and further explores a most unlikely friendship. It's driven by a highly textured and often ferocious performance by the multi-talented Elle Fanning, who was most recently seen in The Beguiled by Sofia Coppola and playing the titular role in Haifa al-Mansouri's Mary Shelley. The creation of this moving insight into ambition, relationships, and free will is the work of writer-director Max Minghella. Until now, he has been best known as an award-winning actor in films such as The Social Network, Into the Forest by Patricia Rozema, and the acclaimed series The Handmaid's Tale. It is as clear that he is as talented behind the camera as he is in front of it. We are very pleased to have an opportunity to speak with our guests after the screening is over, but please join me now in welcoming Max Minghella.
Listen, guys, thank you so much for coming out. I've been living in Toronto ostensibly for 2 to 3 years now, so it's actually deeply meaningful to me to be showing the film to you here in the city. I want to thank Jane and everyone at TIFF. They've been champions of this movie right out the gate. It's a very ambitious film. It was a scary film to make, and to have support like this is really wonderful. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We have some of our cast and crew with us here tonight who are extraordinary and really sort of carried me through this whole thing. So we'll bring them out after the movie and have a chat. But before that, I'm going to bring out Fred Berger, our producer. Before I give Fred the mic, some of you may know this rogue and vagabond. He receives a sole producing credit in this movie, which is incredibly rare. But there's a reason for it, which is that he is really the person who made this movie. He willed it into fruition. I can't really explain how poor the optics were on this before Fred got involved and turned it into something possible. He's a remarkable producer. He's become a remarkable friend. Fred Berger, thank you so much.
Thank you, Max. That is completely undeserved, as most of you who know me can attest to. But I'll take it. Thank you, Jane, for having us. We are so pumped to be here. There is no better audience in the world than here in Toronto, as anyone who comes knows. And we essentially made this movie to premiere Toronto, so we would have been pretty screwed if it didn't work out. You guys have such a love of music and the arts, and what's so exciting about this movie is it's about finding your voice and then trusting that voice, and it's such a gift to be able to discover two big new voices here today who you know in other capacities. And of course, one is Elle Fanning, who, if you followed her career since 4 years old, you know nothing is out of reach or beyond her talents, from performance to dance to accents to emotion. You'll see it all confirmed in this movie, but the real treat is you guys get to hear her sing for the very first time in a movie, and it's pretty damn incredible. And we're just excited that you guys are the first to hear that. The other voice you know as the brooding and smoldering Nick on Handmaid's Tale, but as Jane alluded to, his real talents lie behind the camera. And I'm just so proud of his vision, his specificity, his confidence, and most importantly, his sick ability to curate a soundtrack. I'm just so proud of you, brother, and enjoy the movie.
Thank you. We'll go on. Told you. We're very pleased to have the opportunity to have about 15 minutes of conversation with our guests. If you have a question, please put your hand up as high as possible and maybe wave it so I can see it against the light. Please speak as briefly, loudly as you can, and please keep your questions germane to the film. I think that's everything. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming and congratulating director Max Minghella.
Wow, that was very nerve-wracking. Thank you for watching the movie. That was so exciting. I'm going to bring out some of the people who really made the movie. Um, Starting with our star, Elle Fanning. Elle, thank you much. 9 years ago, I started thinking about making this movie and writing it. And the first piece of this part was Zlatko Burek, who plays Vlad in the film tonight. I wrote this part for him. I still pinch myself when I watch the movie that he's in it. He did a remarkable job. Zlatko Burek, please come out. This movie looks extremely beautiful, and that's because it was shot by a beautiful human being. Autumn Doral, would you like to join us? And last but not least, the big boss man himself, Fred Berger, please come out.
Okay. Yes, go ahead at the front. The question is, was there a special song that you hoped that you could get for the film? You mean that they didn't, or that you didn't? Was there something that you wanted but you weren't able to get?
There were a lot of specific songs I wanted for the film, and they're all in the film. Everything that was specified in the script is in the movie. That's because of some gentlemen who are sitting out here, Tony Seiler and John Janik, who are with Interscope, who were truly like the most insane support making this movie. People come up on these stages, they thank producers, they thank executives, and sometimes that's not so sincere. In this case, these people really like godparents to this movie, and it's remarkable. It's remarkable that we have the music that we have in this film, and it's because of some very kind people who believed in it. Thank you.
Lovely. I'll come back. Let's go ahead. Okay. Can you speak to about recording an original song and what it was like to record with Jack?
It was very deliberate to have an original song over the end credits. To me, this represents the first single, perhaps, that Violet might put out as an artist, or a little flash forward to the future. I am obsessed with pop music, as you probably can tell from watching my film. I believe Jack Antonoff is a genius. Now, having worked with him, I still believe he is a genius. And it was amazing to get him to write this piece of music for us, along with Carly Rae Jesus, as you call her. And I'll let Violet speak about the song herself.
Yes, I got to. I'm wondering. I mean, when did we decide that we were going to do an original song? I guess it was always kind of the plan. Maybe I didn't know that it was the plan, but it was after the. It was after we had filmed the movie. And, we decided, and I think Jack saw the film and agreed to do this for us, which was insane. I think in our wildest dreams, that was like, if we thought of someone, oh, well, Jack Antonoff, but he's never going to do it, so, but whatever. And then we did, and then they're like, okay, they're going to set up a meeting. Well, I think the moment Max told me that Jack was going to do it, I was like, okay, well, I'll get on a plane tomorrow and go to New York, because I live in LA and he lives in New York. And that is how I just like, whoop, okay, like he might change his mind, so I have to like leave right now. And I did, yeah, I went to his loft in New York, and it was amazing just sitting there and how quick he is. I think he wanted to get kind of a sense of my voice and just with all the sounds and everything he does. And I don't know, he was like, and right here, Lord record her album here. Taylor Swift did record her album right in here, and so it's really surreal and crazy. That's basically, I had heard it one time before with my voice on it, so I haven't, it's the first time kind of I've really heard it loud. So hearing it all with you guys too.
It's beautifully acted, shot, and performed. Of course it is, but how did you end up casting?
That's a can of worms question. It's a very, very long answer. This film went through many kind of incarnations in the scripting stage. One of the things that was very important to me was this was a story about somebody from a different culture. For no other reason than I'm drawn to stories myself that are about different cultures. It lends itself to escapism. It lends itself to discovery. So I was very interested in finding somebody who could speak two languages, convincingly could play an immigrant, and could sing, could dance, and act. That was a very, very, very difficult process. I would say a near impossible one. And Elle, if you don't mind me saying, kind of sought us out. She found out about the movie. She was very keen to be a part of it. I was a huge fan. At first, I had a tough time understanding how this part might line up with an American, how naive I was. It was very, very clear the moment we sat down and started talking about this film that she had a very deep understanding of, look, this movie on the surface could seem like a very poppy, almost trite idea, and I believe it has deeper thematic plans. And has more going on, and she seemed to tap into a lot of those ideas and really have a similar frame of reference. So the moment we started talking about it, it was clear she was Violet Valensky. The fact that she performed all of this music live was unbelievable and actually affected my process as a writer, because very quickly I realized I could do more than I thought I could. I could be more ambitious with this movie. I could be more ambitious with this character. Very few pop singers, when they sing in a concert, have to do multiple takes of their live performances. Elle did, and she delivered every time, and everything you're hearing is her live vocal. That's an amazing resource as a director.
All right. Yes, there, please. Okay. I will repeat. I agree with you. I'd like to see that for the rest of everyone. She gives great kudos to the cast, of course, and the leads, but she really would like to speak to the cinematographer.
Are you friends with Fred?
And she's asking, was it really shot in the Isle of Wight? And she'd like to mark that the way that it was shot with the color and the lighting lent so much to the film, so much atmosphere. Could you speak to some of that, please?
Yeah, Max and I have been friends for a bit, and I think if you couple with the right group, of people like Fred, Max, Elle, Sacco, it kind of comes out in you. I mean, we have very, very similar tastes, and he's been kind of working on this project for a long time, so I knew about it a while ago, but the formula is just, I think, having a fantastic team and then working with a director that supports you and trusts you, and allows you to kind of bring out the best in you, and I think that's what shows back there. So, I mean, I'm proud of everyone. It's a fantastic film.
Looks beautiful. Yes, go ahead. Yes. Okay.
This is literally her nightmare, by the way.
The question is about your use of light, the light often shooting into the light outdoors and then the darkness indoors. Was that metaphorical, and how much did you and Max discuss that?
Actually, it wasn't shot in the Isle of Wight. I forget. But yeah, I mean, it's honestly, it's a taste thing. I mean, you know, like I said again about the trust thing. I mean, also her. Like you could probably not light her, and she just glows and looks gorgeous. So having an actress with that kind of face and being that daring, I think sometimes it works for the film. But yeah, I mean, we discussed all that stuff. I think it's just something that through the process of knowing what he likes and what excites him, and then it's just yeah, how I like to light. I like flares and darkness.
We have time for one more question. Yes, go ahead. I love that question. She'd like to know what actually inspired this film. Was there a moment or a person that made you think, I have to write this story?
I've got one now. Look, this is obviously a movie about pop music. I love pop music. There's a big singing competition in the background. I love singing competitions. But it's actually a very pertinent question. I mean, the reason I sort of made this movie is it's sort of for my friends. I actually made this movie with my best friend, Jamie Bell, who is in so many movies in this festival today that he might be in the back somewhere hiding. But we've been through a lot of stuff together in our lives, and we've also drawn a lot of support from our friendship. I've now made some incredible friends making this movie, and we went through good days and bad days, but we stuck by each other. And to me, that is the ultimate theme of this movie. There's a few themes, but the biggest one is patience with our friends, with our enemies, with our successes, with our failures. And you know, it really was the biggest, the most exciting element of the movie to me. The thing that always kind of brought me back to it was making something that in some way was a testament to the people in my life who I love and who I lean on. Yeah.
We're very grateful that you allowed us the opportunity to present the film at TIFF. Thank you so much. Congratulations
Thank you so much.
to you
Thank
all.
you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Congratulate them.